I love how you always have the lipper. It's appropriate.
Chasing it your whole life. From little leagues to big leagues, more than a game.
Well, hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to episode two
Yeah.
of More Than the Game.
Game. Yeah.
I am Casey Chavez, and
Derek Barton.
we got some jerseys with us today. I never went to San Diego State, by the way. I went to a small NAI school. We got to represent San Diego State Aztecs here, just for the San Diego crowd. They made it to the Final Four a couple years ago.
Well, I'll tell you what, I would rather be in San Diego right now
Believe it.
because it's hot.
It's hot. It's hot here in Arizona.
It is.
Dude, excited about this one.
Yeah. This
You
one.
came up,
Yeah. This one could touch a few people.
touched some nerves.
Yeah. It touches me with two young boys now, getting into that age of travel ball and comparisons and the gear and the parents and all the stuff. So
All the stuff.
all the stuff. So yeah, it'll be fun. Hopefully we hit some topics that resonate with families and
Help some people.
help some people. Yeah.
So if you're wondering what we're talking about today, we are talking about what's wrong with youth sports.
Yeah. And what's changed in youth sports? I think for me, the game for kids has changed so much that, it's no longer just going out there on a weekend, playing one game during
One
the week.
game.
Yeah, one game.
One game.
Just one game. One game during the week, one game on the weekends, and other than that, maybe one practice
Wow.
and just being a kid. But it's changed. So
See, I just came out of the season. You were there helping me with the 12U boys it's been 6 years already. Would you believe that? Maybe 4 because I had them for 2 years. But one game on a weekend sounds atrocious
right.
compared to what these kids are actually playing now. So how about we start there, man? Growing up in your day in the 80s into today's
90s, bro.
That's right. I keep forgetting.
Whoa.
He's younger than me, by the way. I know I look younger than him, but he's younger than me. I'm an 80s kid. What?
Because I'm bald?
They don't know that. You got a hat on.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm
They
not
can-
bald.
All they can do is see my gray. So
Yeah.
what has changed in, we'll say, the game of baseball today
Yeah.
versus when you were growing up?
Yeah, as far as youth baseball goes, I think the elephant in the room is travel ball. I think is the biggest thing that has changed. When we were growing up, it wasn't as available to all the age groups. And now I think, kids starting there's like 7 and under travel ball teams, which really kills me. But I think the biggest thing that's changed is that it's become a business opposed to just a sport that kids could go out, enjoy on the weekends, play for a couple months during the year. And it's turned into a full on, you see the articles about private equity. People are upset with private equity because you're having to go pay $10 and $12 to go watch your kid play at one of these travel ball tournaments. And so, for me, I think that's the biggest change that I've seen is the need that the parents feel to get their kids into travel ball at a young age.
That's a great segue. What I was going to say is, I would think in our day, it was a commodity. And today it feels like it's a necessity. And so what I mean by that is I was starting to tell a story last time about how my dad got in trouble. And there was a route. It was the Little League route. And growing up in my day, it was Williamsport. And you wanted to be, like Sean Burroughs.
Yeah.
Was
that
like
Little League?
Little League.
Yeah.
Little League World Series. And you wanted to hit a home run up on the hill.
Yep.
Williamsport. And so you would work your way up, play your Little League season, National League All-Stars, American League All-Stars. And then from there, we didn't even put both divisions together. And this is anywhere from 10 to 12.
Yeah.
And then, so the National League team would go as far as they could. Then the American League team would go as far as they could. They didn't even mesh them together.
They didn't join one team.
They didn't join one team. So we were Rancho Penasquitos, for example. Pretty good baseball in our day in Little League. We had the Rancho Penasquitos American League All-Stars and the Rancho Penasquitos National League All-Stars.
In the same league.
In the same league. So we played each other on separate teams, like the American League and the National League do here. But our all-star team, when it came to district and sections and then trying to advance on to Williamsport through Bakersfield, that was a route for us. We never got a chance to put all of our best players from Rancho Palos Verdes together. It was either the American League on their own. So there's a lot of kids I never even got to play with.
No sense.
And then we couldn't beat this kid from, I still remember Coronado. They were a green team.
Yeah.
His name was Sonny. And he had a curveball. We couldn't hit a curveball
At 12?
at 12. And this kid was going right through us. And but we never had a chance to even represent.
How hard were they throwing at 12 in your day?
I couldn't catch up to it at the time, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know numbers.
I think 7.
There's another way the game has changed. We didn't track.
Right.
Like, hey, my kid hit 450 during the regular season in Little League. Whoop-de-doo, if that makes sense. We didn't keep track of stats.
No.
Everybody knew who the best players were. They voted on it, and then you moved on.
Oh.
And so here's how my dad got in trouble.
They voted.
The coaches voted.
They
Yeah,
voted.
they
So
voted.
They didn't just select who they wanted.
Let me just put
was
it
the
this
coach's vote.
because I know where you're going. Let me just put it this way: 85% of the team was legit, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There was
okay.
1 or 2 snubs. I have a name in my head. I'm not gonna.
Right.
I'm not gonna go there. Right? We don't want to bring up old wounds.
Politics.
We're not gonna go there. But for the most part, if you know Derek, for the most part, the best players, at least from the league, were represented. Now, here's how my dad got in trouble. When he was coaching at 12, he was obviously a very good coach, had some of the best players. I told you about Eric and Eric growing up in San Diego. They needed higher competition at 13 years old. And here's where the commodity comes in. That's where they started to search and recognize that both of these guys were higher level players.
Yep.
And they needed to be up against better talent, right? And Pony, the local Pony team, wasn't going to do that. The local Colt team wasn't going to do that. These kids were looking at playing 4 years of varsity baseball as a freshman in high school, which they both did. And they wanted to expose them both to the most talent. That's where I told you, we went to North County, or Orange County, formed that Orange County Crush team and travel ball. And they were playing against the best players.
At what age?
13.
All
13.
for it. All for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for it. And we'll get into the age, our opinion on the age where travel will make sense.
Oh gosh. 4.
Yeah. Now it's a 6 and under travel ball team. Just it blows my mind.
That's ridiculous, dude.
But youth ball for us was it was just a season. It was just spring.
That's right.
That's what we did.
Yeah, that's another thing.
And then the other 3 seasons, we would just, I wouldn't play anything else because I wasn't good enough in any other sports, but I would take a break and I would do nothing. So,
So it actually had a season of the year. It was not year round.
It was spring. Spring was baseball until age 12 for me. Now, you can argue and debate all you want on what age you think is your kid's ready for travel ball, but my thoughts are that
Tell them that you've already got.
the longer you wait, the better it will be for the kid in terms of mental issues, as far as when you get into travel ball, it's no longer everybody plays, right? So if your kid is one of the top players on the team, sure, they're going to play every inning of every game because it's about winning. Once you get to travel ball, it's win or nothing. Like, you're not just playing to be out there and have fun, right? If you're going to be in travel ball, be okay with, practicing multiple times a week, not being home with your family on holidays and every weekend or every other weekend, and then be prepared to pay for it. Because now, instead of development, I believe travel ball is more focused on monetizing whoever's running the organization, opposed to developing kids and teaching kids the game that they need to know in order to move up to the next level.
Sure. So travel ball, the biggest way, or the biggest difference between then and now is the travel ball scope.
The access to travel ball at a young age, yes. The access to coaches that are going to help your child develop both in baseball and in life, I don't think is there. I think it's more based off of money.
Mm.
And I mean, it's not a secret. If private equity is getting it, it's a $40 billion industry,
Mm.
the youth sports, youth
Mm.
travel ball. And you got to start questioning it. And
motives.
many people are, and it's great that so many people are talking about it. But at the end of this, I'd like to get into some ways to actually change or what to look for in order to change travel ball. And it has a lot to do with the coaches.
Yes. Okay. Here's what I would say. The biggest difference, obviously, other than travel ball for me, is the Sandlot mentality, like the movie. There was a day where the neighborhood kids, summer, first day of summer's today. My daughter's over here complaining about how bored she is.
Mm.
All of us were bored. All of us we used to do neighborhood games of football, pickup games, basketball, manhunt. We used to have kids get tied to a tree and duct tape the trees. And when the sun went down, there's about 40 of us, and you could hear somebody going, oh, oh.
Yeah, I wouldn't be hanging out with you guys.
And you wouldn't do it because you were 12, 13 years old, and the 18, 19-year-olds, they'd come and lump on you. So you left that kid there.
Oh, geez.
They would come and get you. They tied him to a tree just to try to hook you in. But it was fun. It was fun, right? What I'm saying is like that.
If you weren't the one on the tree,
I was never the one on the tree.
well, there you go.
I climbed on a roof once.
Run faster than the other one.
That's it.
That's the moral.
You're on your own. What I'm saying, though, however, is the pickup game mentality.
Yeah.
Where you went and found some neighbors, like the movie The Sandlot. You found all your buddies. You played against a pickup game against some other kids around the street, where it was just a play game. Like you were alluding to, now it's a pay-to-play game.
Yeah.
It was just a game where you would just do 1,000 dry swings a day, bottom of the ninth, playing that bat in your head in your driveway. All those kinds of. I remember I one shot on my buddy Trevor's free throw on his little basketball hoop.
Mhm.
I pulled it down. I did my own dunk contest by myself. I spent about 2 hours in his driveway, and then I shot about 100 shots. I made probably 40 of them, but maybe.
That's pretty good.
But that was the mentality, right? Now it's not that way anymore. Now you're in a game, you're performing, you got to win, the pressure. The other thing I will say is the bats, the equipment, how expensive they are. We showed up, as I alluded to last time, in jeans.
Yeah.
And we played, and we had hand-me-downs. Now today, forget it. The amount of money you have to have, the gear and everything. It's almost like you're showing up like a pro player. So between those two things, and then I would say the access to information, the videos, you alluded to the coaching not being as good as what I thought I heard you say, or as quality. We used to have quality coaching, maybe less of them and less information coming at us, but we had our moms. Your mom was helping you out, coaching you. Our mom used to get on a bucket and catch us.
Yeah.
Me and Eric, my brother, he would sit on a bucket, catch for me, I'd catch for him. We'd play the strikes game. We just work on throwing strikes. We play a whole 9-inning game. And all of that was based on how many runs you walked in.
Mm-hmm.
So we learned command. And that was just in a bucket in the driveway in a cul-de-sac. That's gone. All that's gone.
So one of the issues I've come across, and now with, our boys being 6 and 8 or 7 and 8 now, is they want to get out and they want to hit, right? They want dad to throw to them. They want dad to play catch and take ground balls and do all the things. Well, the biggest issue we've run into now is that every field around
rented
town, no, it's locked up.
Oh,
You can't get on the field unless you pay.
That's right.
So when I grew up, we had fields, multiple fields within a bike ride distance that we could go to, and it was just open.
And they were open. Yeah.
And you can play on them.
I will say, we jumped a lot of fences.
Wow. I mean,
we jumped a lot.
Yeah.
We throw the gloves over, the bats over, the bucket of balls, just dump it over. Chris, Eric, you know what I'm talking about. We used to do that in our local high school field. I mean,
now
all
you
that.
do that.
But you're right.
All the Karens, they're going to complain.
Oh, geez. It's like HOA.
It's HOA.
It's HOA mentality.
It's HOA.
So the game's changed a lot.
The game is the same. I think how youth sports is managed has changed a lot. And unfortunately, I think a lot of the parents have a lot to do with it as well.
They bought into it.
They're 100% bought into it. And they feel pressure from their friends who are in travel ball and
to keep up.
maybe living vicariously through their kids and wanting the kids to do something special. And they think that the only way to do it is by, starting at a young age.
He's basically saying to you parents, little Jimmy may not be that special. And we're just being honest.
He's special. He's special.
He said it.
Every
So,
kid is special
but
to their parents.
Big League Stadium's next level special. So how about this? You sent me some things that were wrong with U Sports today.
Yeah.
And I liked it and I ran with it. I'm going to list these off and I think we can segue this into this next segment, right? The 6 things that Derek sent me, guys, was this. Here's what's wrong with U Sports today. Number 1, the cost. 2, travel ball. We talked about that, hit on that already. Number 3, year-round specialization. 4, social media. We didn't have that. That's that information I'm talking about right there. 5, you just talked about it, the parenting. Sorry, parents. By the way, quick segue. I came up with a rule as a coach. Players play, coaches coach, umpires umpire, and parents parent. Don't be coaching through the fence. Don't be micromanaging through the fence. Don't be getting your elbow up through the fence, little Jimmy. All that good stuff, right? And then the last one you alluded to was coaching.
Yeah.
I want to take those first 2 topics and I kind of meshed them into one little synopsis I have right there. And like I told you, I think this is going to open you up. Number 1 and number 2, costs and travel ball. I wrote the pay to play and the travel ball household expenses that are now hitting families. Here we go. You guys ready? Here we go. There's approximately 30 to 45 million kids in America that are involved in youth sports between the ages of 6 and 17. 55% of kids in America in that age group, 3 out of 4 American families have at least one kid dedicated to youth sports. 70% of those kids quit playing their sport altogether at the age of 13. Youth sports in America, as Derek was alluding to already, has grown to an over $40 billion industry. It's no longer playing. It's no longer rec ball in development. Get off your video games. Remember, it was, hey, get off your Nintendo, go play. Get off your Sega Genesis, go play. It's now a business and a lucrative industry. I found an article from WGN News in Chicago, and they did a story. And it said, for families of travel ball parents, they're seeing expenses for their kids to play travel ball that rival a second mortgage. A family from Cerritos, where's Cerritos, by the way? You know where Cerritos is?
Yeah, it's in Southern Cal.
In Cerritos, California, whose daughter played travel softball, reported that they spent $10 to $13 a year just on travel. That does not include costs for gear, registration fees, coaches' fees, or one single private lesson for hitting or pitching.
Yeah.
A personal friend of mine just told me the other day that his brother is now paying $20,000 a year for his 12-year-old son's soccer team. A 2025 New York Life survey reported that 75% of parents had to take some kind of financial action just to manage to help offset travel ball costs. 25% of families reported having to take money out of retirement, out of savings accounts, or an emergency fund just to keep up. A financial advisor reports that he's seeing families cut back on savings for retirement. They're getting deeper and deeper into debt. They're not paying off debt and they're just taking out credit card after credit card to fund youth sports and the weekend warrior lifestyle. Parents with full-time jobs, 2 working full-time job parents are now taking out a second job just to fund little Billy or little Sally's opportunity to play travel sports. So the family's not even spending time together apart from being on the field. And here's the myth. And this is what I want to expose here. 83% of those parents actually believe, and this is what we're talking to you about your kid may not be that special, actually believe that their child is good enough to play sports at the collegiate level. Over half of these families believe that their kid is good enough to receive a scholarship to play collegiate sports. But the NCAA reports that only 2% of high school athletes actually get a college scholarship. 0.5% of high school seniors in baseball will get drafted or have the opportunity to play a day of professional baseball. And the high school senior has 0.05% chance of ever making it to the major leagues like you did. Of all the ball players that get drafted and have the opportunity to play in the minor leagues, only somewhere between 10 to 20% of those players will actually make it to the major leagues. So having all that information, knowing the $40 billion industry that's feeding and fueling what I call the big league dream at 12, at 8, at 14, where your name's on the bag and your uniforms and you're traveling like a pro athlete. You're not taking any time off. You're going year round. You're jumping around from this team to this team and here to here, trying to take those Instagram Sunday rings like we won another championship. All that stuff that's just pouring into you. And the families are just, they're not in church. They're on the ball field. All the moms have their little speakers set up. They build their tent cities. They get their chairs out. They got their Instagram. I've seen a lot of Instagram channels of all the moms of the teams. Now they've made it a thing. They've got all the walk-up songs. They've got the scorekeeper. They've got the GoPro mom, the recorder. Their whole life is spent on the field for these kids. All that money is being poured out in time for those kids, for little Billy and little Sally. And that might just be one of their kids. What if they have 4? And so what my question to you is this: is it even worth it?
Are they having fun? Is it worth it?
Knowing all those stats.
For the parents, it's probably worth it. For the outcome that I think they're expecting or looking for, I mean, I think the numbers speak for themselves. Kids don't have a great chance of going to college on a scholarship. Now they can go to college. They might get a partial scholarship because of their grades or whatever. I'm all for that. Now, your kid's not getting a scholarship at 8 years old. Your kid's not getting a scholarship at 10 years old. Unless you live in the Dominican Republic, your child's not being drafted at 16, right?
I
So
once had a dad tell me when I coached that 12U team, when his son was 11, that the high school coach of where he wanted to go to already had him slotted on his varsity team, and he named the year starting at second base for him at 11.
well, I've seen some pretty good players at 10 and 11 that maxed out by the time they were 14.
Some of them quit at 13,
Some
according to
of them quit
this.
at 13. One of my questions to question your question, is it worth it? Is are the parents living for baseball through their kids, or are their kids the one that are pressuring their parents or asking or begging or trying to talk them into putting them in travel sports? Either way, if you have an 8 or 10-year-old kid trying to get them in travel sports, well, aren't you the parent? Like, if you're going to have to be maxing out credit cards to go play travel ball because your kid wants to do it, is that something that you're okay with every night losing, or are you losing sleep because your credit cards are maxed out? And look, some people can afford it, right? That's just, maybe it's throwaway money and it's just for fun for them. And maybe they don't care if their kid goes to the next level, goes to college or goes pro. But common sense, being around parents with kids in travel ball, is that not every single one of them, the majority of them think, 83% think that their kids are
Go
going
to
to
college
be good
on a
enough
scholarship.
to get a scholarship. The data shows different. But for me, it's, would I rather, and this is speaking as a parent, would I rather spend $5 to $10 grand a year on travel ball, going to these tournaments with a coach that might not be giving them the development that I'm paying for? Or would I rather take my family on a couple of vacations and build that family quality time that they're going to remember forever? If they're going to a tournament twice a month, they're not going to remember those tournaments. But if you go on a couple of vacations a year, or one vacation a year for a week, your kids will remember that. And I think that's kind of one of the thoughts that I have now as a parent which was different when I wasn't a parent because I was the kid, the young man that said, if I ever have kids, they're going to play baseball and they're going to go pro. Like, how naive of me to think that, knowing that I was one of 0.5% that goes, that goes past high school and ends up making it to the pinnacle of baseball and playing in the major leagues. Super blessed. God blessed me with unbelievable talent.
That's why I keep trying to tell you, your career, you got to give yourself a little more credit for that.
We already talked about that.
Yeah.
Last one. But
when you look at the odds, you overcame all the odds.
yeah,
Right.
I had a comment on my live here. Mark Wagner was talking about
Coach Wagner, how are you?
I don't know if he.
Oh, wait, no, is that not?
I don't know if he coaches his boy. Not Coach Casper.
No. The one you were talking about last time.
Mike Casper. Oh,
No,
Coach Ward.
Ward. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
thought it was
I
Coach
did send him
Okay.
that little clip.
Okay, cool. Cool.
He told me he loved me. So
Mike Wagner, how you doing?
but he made a good point. Kids are softer
100%.
today in the way that
Crying?
they're entitled, they complain, they don't work hard.
Now you're waking me up.
All they care about is what bat they have in their bag,
Yep.
right?
How they look
what
on the
grip
gram.
they have, yeah. What eye black they're
The show
wearing
hair.
today. The show. I mean, hey, to each their own. Be yourself.
I mean, they're on the
I'm all
ground.
for it.
They
Yeah.
got to look good for the ground.
Well, I mean, a box score better look good,
Yeah, well,
but
the hair does.
I
How about
agree
the pink
with him
unis,
100%.
turquoise unis?
But that's not just a youth sports thing. I think that's a universal thing. At least here in America, parents give in to their kids a lot more than they did when we were kids.
I'm glad you said that because I was going to help parents out and have a little bit of compassion. I've got 2 girls. Nobody in my house, because we couldn't afford it, number one. We didn't have cell phones in my day. I didn't get one till I was in college. But nobody in our house got their license till they were 18. Couldn't even afford the insurance, right? You had to wait till you're 18. You imagine parents today making your kid wait till they're 18 years old
Well,
to be able to.
kids don't want to drive now. So
Well, but even that, but it's the few that don't. But
yeah,
they have to have it.
right.
My daughter's going to be 16 soon. She's already talking about her friend wanting it. With the phones, I was trying to tell my wife, Abby, I don't care if they have the little
Flip
watch, the little flip phone. I don't want them to have the screen and all that junk, right? I lost. They both got phones, right? Why? The pressure.
Yeah.
What we heard about the watches was they make fun of me at school because I got the little kid watch and they're over here on the smartphone. And that pressure from the public and what
Yeah.
everybody else is doing, right? Now that's just phones and that's just driving. Now you've got a young athlete that's wanting to play, wanting to be around their friends and wanting to be around the same group of people. And you've got moms that are part of a mom crew and you've got the dads that are part of a dad crew. And that's what we do. We are on the ball field together all weekend, more than 2 tournaments a month. We're probably hitting 4 a month. And those are our families. Those are our people. Then we're doing barbecues. That's our whole life is wrapped around that. That's what they do, right? Now, that's a pressure thing. And I'm sitting here and I'm going, because there's a couple of things you hit on that really fired me up. When I took over the 12U Chandler Halo team, they were actually 11. And they were telling me, shout out to Kyle Dodd, Shane Goddard, Tyler Johnson, all you guys, this is true. If not, hit me up. We sat down and they were telling me how good they were at the level before. And their young coach moved to Texas, had to take a job. Him and his wife, they moved away. They had a pretty good coach. They were like the best team at that age group. I came in and they're telling me this kid's good at this kid can't catch, this kid's our shortstop, these 2 hit 1 and 2, this is what it is. And they've been together for years. I said, cool. First thing I learned is going up to the level that we went to was not the level that they came from.
So that
It
was
was
from 11 to 12.
It was a huge jump.
Big jump.
I
from
think
11
it was
to 12.
10U
Okay, 10 to 12. Big jump.
to 12U. And that jump from 10U to 11 years old was ginormous. Now they were facing kids that look like men,
With mustaches.
boys,
Yeah, yeah.
breaking balls, all kinds of overpowering stuff. What I had to tell them, because I came in and I told them, we're going to run the fall like spring training. We're not really trying to win until the spring. We're going to do less tournaments in the fall. We're going to develop. We're going to teach. We're going to see what these kids are. We're going to project them in a way that they can play a position and identify two positions as they age. You got to have one. You got to have two. You got to have two positions. You got to be somewhat versatile. We didn't know that. Everything that they were telling me, I had to turn back and tell them, I don't want to hear any more of what they did at 10 years old. I'm trusting what over 2,000 baseball games at the major league level and a lifetime of watching players and coaching players has taught me. And I'm telling you right now, we got to see what they got. Here's two things I learned. Number one, when it comes to them being soft. Why are they soft? Because ain't nobody telling them the truth. We're telling him he's a shortstop. And I'm over here going, he's not a shortstop. Oh, he's always played short. That don't make him a shortstop. Because he was playing short at 10U doesn't make him a shortstop at 11U. First of all, he can't cut angles. He can't, all he could do is come in. He can't go left and right and cut an angle. That's what a shortstop has to do. Did you know that? Oh, I didn't know that. That kid ain't a shortstop. He needs to play a corner. This kid's a catcher. Oh, he's never, no, I'm telling you, and he's still catching today. They're soft. Ain't nobody telling them
Right.
the truth
Yeah.
in a way that you're setting them up for success. The other thing is the crying. They're soft. They thought they were champions, right? But they'd never really been battle tested. And what I had to tell them is when they're like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I go, what's wrong is your boys are soft. And now that they've moved up a level, guys are stronger and bigger and the game's faster. That's why you're seeing all the crying. It's not because of what I'm telling them, because I'm not a jerk. I love kids. I tell them the truth. And I'm going to tell them how to get better. But I'm also going to tell them the truth in a loving way. Set them up for success. They're soft. And they didn't realize how soft that they were. Now they know.
Well, not just coaches, but I think also parents aren't always honest with their kids.
Yeah.
And, if you're telling your kid at home that he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, he's going to believe it. And he should believe it. If his parents are telling him that, that's something that you do, right? You have respect for your parents and you trust your parents. And those are really the only people that you should trust, because those are the people that have the best interest, your best interest in mind. But I think it's been a little bit watered down. And kids aren't
because we don't want to disappoint them. We get them phones because we don't want to disappoint them. We put them in a car too quickly because we don't want to disappoint them. And because we don't make them wait or tell them the truth anymore, and we give into that pressure, they don't learn the resilience. Here's a word that people don't hear anymore. No. Not yet.
Yeah.
Go get a summer job if you want that bat. I remember the days everybody had the pumps, the Reebok pumps.
Oh, yeah.
They were what, $100, $120, right? You know what they were told in our house? Go do a newspaper route if you want those pumps. That was back in the day where they used to have the magazines and you would call in the number and you would order through a catalog.
Oh, yeah.
And so you had to get a newspaper route or a little gig doing something. We were at an armored, Carlo Greco owned an armored truck, money transportation company.
Yep.
And we used to go, my parents used to take us and we used to wash the trucks and he'd give us cash.
From the back of the truck?
No, from washing the truck. Stop it. That money was clean. Always dumping into conspiracies. So kids are soft. We're not telling them the truth, but we're giving them the big league dream, the bag with the name on it, the uniform with your name on it. Did you ever have a uniform with your name on it till you got to a certain level?
Yeah, in Pony League.
Not us.
No?
Nope. We bust out a box and you could smell the moth on it.
Oh, yeah.
From the year before.
Yeah, we
It was
have.
very rare to get a new jersey, especially with one with your name on it.
I mean, we even had a year where, we got to pick our nicknames to put on the back of our.
Jeez.
Mine may or may not have been Hot Shot.
Did the girls like that?
Girls have cooties.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We used to buzz our numbers in our heads.
Yep.
That's how we did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, our moms used to do that.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
remember that.
So is it worth it? You notice how I'm not letting them off the hook?
I think it depends on the parents, and your financial standing. I don't know. For me, it's not worth it. I would rather create family memories on a vacation that my kids will remember. And I think this is, studies have been done. I can't name the study, but kids don't necessarily remember particular tournaments that they played in unless it was like some big championship, but they remember most of the family vacations that you took them on. So for me, I mean, if you're talking year round, now you're getting into specializing in one sport,
Right.
right? Because if you're just playing one sport
Right.
year round, it's really hard to play multiple sports. And I don't remember if we touched on it or not, but playing multiple sports, I think, has many benefits to it. Different types of teamwork, different types of agility work, different types of using your brain, different types of whatever it is teaching you something else and letting the muscles that you use during the baseball season relax and recover and rebuild.
So as a former major league athlete and player, is specializing in a sport today for a young athlete the way to go?
In my opinion, absolutely not.
What's wrong with playing a sport year round and trying to get more elite than your competition?
I don't think it's wrong to train year round and get better, but I think there can be a happy medium where you have your baseball season, you play your baseball season. If you want to work on baseball the rest of the year, maybe take the money that you would be spending on travel ball and invest it in actual
You might want to look at the
training.
camera for that.
Yeah,
Tell them you might
right.
look at the camera.
You might want to invest in actual training,
Mm,
like you one-on-one to where,
development.
yeah, development. And then you can still play other sports doing that, right? Because
Right.
other sports aren't going to take every day. But if you're playing baseball year round, you can't play another sport because you'll be missing games.
Right.
You'll be missing practices. And what did you say? If you miss practice,
You don't play.
you don't play. So,
That's not true in today's game either. We didn't even hit on that.
well, yeah, that's a good point.
Every high level coach that I've heard at the collegiate level or the next level, every high level athlete that talks about every other high level athlete in their sport says these things. Specialization is terrible. And there's reasons why. It leads to higher rates of overuse of the body and the repetition over and over and over again. Side note, I once watched Hank Blaylock, who I grew up playing against. He went to Rancho Bernardo High School, I was at Mount Carmel High School, talking to my brother Eric. Now Hank's an all-star with the Rangers. And I said, hey, bro, go, let's talk to Hank. I haven't seen him in years. I haven't seen him since the area code games. So we run into Hank in the cage. We meet up in the cage. Eric goes, how's your body feeling? How you doing? They both play the same position, third base, and they're talking about the same injuries, shoulders and the low back for the coming in and the turn and that left turn, making those throws to the left, right? Kids are doing that over and over and over again at a young age, and they're getting hurt.
And not necessarily with the proper form.
Not even, just looking for the outcome, right? Injuries, mental burnout, then the player does not develop either into a well-rounded athlete or a well-rounded person, right? I know my nephew, for example, Diego. He's always putting up his training videos. Shout out to Diego. You're working hard, bro. You look fantastic. Diego's already made two or three major surgeries, and he's not even 21 yet.
Dang.
He had 2 of them in high school. I didn't even think he was going to make it back. So I'm
Arm?
super proud of you.
Knee.
Super. And I see him squatting. I'm like, dude, super proud of you. But 2 major injuries already. Could it be the overuse? I don't know.
Right.
I haven't been around him enough to know, but I also know a friend of mine, his daughter has a pitching coach, a hitting coach, a strength and conditioning coach, a flexibility coach. You name it, that they're doing that kind of lessons.
What age?
14? Already starting to do PT, heading towards surgeries, if not having one already. that over usage, never getting a break, that burnout,
Yeah.
all towards one. And then you hear college coaches say it all the time. We want well-rounded people and individuals. Actually, it hurts your recruiting at college level if you only play one sport. They want to see you, that you are well-rounded, that you're resilient, that you're an athlete, that you can adjust. Because you might have been the best shortstop in high school, but at this level, especially when the Latino players come up,
Yeah.
you ever heard the one about the American shortstop?
No.
American shortstop comes up, Little League, shortstop, best player on the team, hitting third. Goes to the travel ball team, batting third, playing shortstop. Goes to his high school team, 4 years of varsity baseball, playing shortstop. Gets drafted right next to that Dominican kid that you were talking about, and the American shortstop goes to play second base.
Yeah. Now, hey, they play baseball year round out there. That's all they have.
With milk cartons.
With cardboard boxes and tape balls and broomsticks. But they also train differently. And that's a whole nother episode if you want to talk about the Dominican Republic and how much they throw, right? Now their training is completely different than how we train here. Which goes into, for me, you said, is it worth it, a little while ago? And I didn't touch on this.
Yeah, here we go.
Is the coach or the coaches of that travel ball team developing your kid?
But that's where you look in the camera. You got to tell that.
In the way, is your coach of your team developing your child in a way that makes the investment worth it? Are they getting that much better with that coach than they would on a rec team?
That was a quote.
Now, I'm going to coach a rec team next year. I may not be the best travel ball coach because we don't play travel ball, but I'll be damned if I don't teach these young kids the basic fundamentals of baseball.
That's right.
And it doesn't have to be super intense, complex. These kids are 8. They need to understand why we do things, how we do things, when we do things, and then we need to make it fun, right? Baseball's fun.
That's right.
We always had fun. And if we weren't having fun, it's because we were losing.
That's what I was going to allude to about the Latin player. They're always playing and having fun.
Yep.
They love play baseball.
They love play baseball.
Here's what I was going to say to you, man, when you started going on all that. Parents, you are paying a coach for a specialized position training, pitching, hitting, a certain position, right? I've given catching lessons. I've given infield lessons. Derek's one heck of an info coach. Also have one heck of an infield instructor in Washington. The best. First thing is that pad, man. You got to get that pad. And what he's alluding to is this. You're spending all that money. You're spending all that time. I like this, dude, because we're starting to help people. You're spending all that money and time trying to get your kid to the next level. I grew up with a kid named Scott Hurt. Really great catcher. 4 years of varsity baseball, rival high school, Rancho Bernardo. His dad, Jack Hurd, was one of our summer ball coaches. When I said, hey, man, Scotty's doing really well. He's hitting over 400 as a freshman. He goes, yeah, but I keep mentioning that catcher in Texas that he's got to be better than. That's what I'm talking about. And if you see something in your kid and you want your kid to get better, what Derek's talking about in terms of fundamentals is this. One of the things that I teach every baseball player is this. I ask them all the same question at every level. I learned this from Mike Gallego and from 2000 Major League Baseball games, workouts, how people went about it, professional athletes, and opening my eyes and opening my ears. And here's what I tell every kid. You can hit the ball far. You can run fast. You can throw. The 5-tool player, right? Out of all those tools, and then, you give them all the tools, and then you say to them, what is the most important thing for a baseball player? And you get a slew of answers, and they're all wrong. The most important thing for a baseball player is his eyes. It's literally his eyes, because you've never seen a good blind baseball player. And when you teach a baseball player how to play with their eyes, because they get stuck in their head. And this information happens too quick.
You can't think and play at the same time.
You've got to learn how to use your eyeballs. And most of them are trying to get their elbow up. They're trying to do this little drill. They're trying to specialize in this little thing. And that doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
One more thing about specialization, then we got to move on to social media. I want to tell you a quick little story. I don't know if you saw Michael Jordan talking about Kobe Bryant in the Staples Center after Kobe's funeral. He told a really endearing story about their friendship, right? And Michael Jordan, by the way, side note, the greatest of all time, put it to bed. It's a wrap.
Agreed.
Thank you. Michael Jordan said this about Kobe.
And I'm not even a basketball guy, but I know that.
But you got it. Derek's got eyeballs. You can see.
Yeah. Oh, we'll touch on that later. But
Okay.
the eye test, right? Let's stop analytics and all that stuff and get back to using our eyes.
What are your eyesight?
What are eyes?
What do you think I was telling that Chandler Halo team?
Yeah.
For everything you told me and all those numbers and all those stats,
Yeah.
I'm telling you what I see. All right, here we go. Back to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan said this, that when Kobe was retired and coaching his daughter, Kobe would call him in the middle of the night. I don't know if you remember, he said it was kind of an annoyance. And he'd wake him up in the middle of the night about his 13-year-old daughter's development because he was really involved in his daughter. I mean, that's even the helicopter thing was
Sure.
on the way to a tournament.
Yep.
He was really involved in her career and the team's career. He said Kobe would call him at 2 a.m. asking him, how do I get her locked in? What were you thinking about when you were 13? And do you know Michael Jordan's answer?
Nope.
Kobe. At 13, I was trying to play baseball. So the greatest basketball player of all time was playing baseball. And we're over here specializing, trying to raise a big leaguer at 8. We're trying to project a 12-year-old infielder at a big league level.
Yeah.
No well-roundedness, no time. My brother played water polo, football, and baseball.
And there are always one-off cases.
And basketball.
Not everybody has to play multiple sports. However, I think it's beneficial to do so
Or take breaks.
or take breaks.
Or take have a season.
breaks. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Social media. What do you got about that? What's social media doing to youth sports and young families?
It's
and
not
players?
even youth sports, man. It's just it's
Oh, in general. Okay.
it's everybody. It's destroying the brain. Comparison is the number one thing that comes to my mind. You know, you've got all these kids on Instagram and TikTok, and look, post your stuff. That's great. I'm all for you posting your stuff and being proud of the way that you handle yourself on the field, on a court, whatever. What I have an issue with is kids getting stuck looking at other players and comparing themselves to other players who have nothing in common with them other than playing the same sport. You don't know what their background is. You don't know what their training is. It doesn't matter what their background or their training is. Like we have such a complex of where we want to be as good or have the same things that another person has. And I'm guilty of it. I did it all through my career. I thought I had to have the same watches as them. I thought I had to have the same cars. But in reality, I'm comparing myself to a guy making $20 million a year or $10 million a year when I'm making a league minimum, which is a lot less than that. And COVID really, I think during COVID, it got a lot worse because all of us had nothing but time, and I went down all different sorts of rabbit holes and got into the social media thing, and it really took a toll on my mind, which led me to finding Jesus again. So I'm kind of grateful for that. But social media it has its purpose, but I think we need to be able to differentiate what our goals are with social media. Put videos out of yourself. But the moment we start looking at other people's stuff and comparing other teams, other coaches, other whatever it is, anything other than yourself, I think what it does is it messes with our mind.
Psychologically.
And then it starts making us question ourselves. And are we good enough? Do we have the right gear? Am I on the right team? Should I go reach out to this other team because it looks like they're winning all of their games and we lost our last tournament? for me, social media is awful when it comes to the youth and how they use it.
Sad thing is, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to compare how far we can hit a ball, or how fast we can run, or who's faster on our,
Or whose dad could be whose dad up.
or who's dad. And now they're comparing how many followers they have,
Right.
how many people are liking their posts. Like, social media is fake.
Mm.
In reality, people only show you what they want. They don't show you them struggling, because everybody struggles. Everybody struggles, but we want everybody to know that our life looks perfect and we do nothing wrong and we have no issues. When in reality, if we were just to be honest with ourselves and only answer to one person, then
Playing for one.
I think our minds would be a lot more freed up to perform at a level that we're capable of
Yeah.
without pressure.
I used to try to tell the big league guys, you guys, audience of one. You know, there was even that, I put a video up the other day of my time in Oakland and leaving, play for him. Shout out to Scott Shimada, play for him, audience of one, right? And you're performing for one. Who gave you the ability to play the game that you love? Who gave you that talent? Who gave you those, kept you healthy on the field, opened up those doors for you, right? So really you're performing for one, which is really an act of worship.
Yeah.
And it was what it should be, right? All the things that we accomplish in life should be to give God glory, but we get caught up in performance.
Yeah.
And so here's some things that I've discovered with social media and young players. Dig me tapes, highlight reels. Every player looks like they're the best player in a reel or a highlight,
Yeah.
right? Every player does. Their teammates they're all the best friends ever. They're all taking the dugout shots, and when they get older, they're all at the parties and everything, and they're like family. Their lives are the best ever. Everything, as you were alluding to, looks so good on social media because we get to pick and choose what we want them to see, right? But I also see some other things happening to the game. More celebrations and homers being pimped.
Yeah.
Back in the day, when you pimped a homer, you were going down, and we were fighting.
That means they would throw a ball into your ribs
Or your ear.
or your ear, because they
Try to
didn't
stay
have
away
the
from the head,
control.
by the way. Yeah.
They just didn't have the control.
That's it.
Unintentional, but purposer.
Yelling from the dugouts, shut up. And here's what I told the high school boys.
Yelling at who from the dugout?
all the cheers. Everybody, like, I just went to a few.
For your own team or
Yeah, when you're up.
chirping?
When you're up.
Okay.
Not necessarily chirping, right?
Not a fan.
Not a fan. And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
And this is what I told the high school team that I was coaching. Listen, if that's you, keep it up. But if you're down 7, I better hear it. And when you pay attention to the game, it gets real quiet when they start going down real quick. Me and my brother were just talking about this, watching some of my nephews play. I'm like, all that. He goes, what did you guys do? I said, that's what I told them. The truth. Listen, if you want to be loud, but you better stay loud. If that's who you are, if you got Nick Swisher, oh yeah, bro, energy, then you better have that energy all the time.
Yeah, some energy.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
Everybody used to call it, what they used to call it, Ichiro one time called it a false hustle.
Yeah.
And like 6 months later, no false hustle.
No, yeah.
No, you, Swish is still doing that, right? But if that's you, be you.
Yeah.
But if that's not you, and a real quick way to tell is when you're down 7.
Yeah.
You're not loud no more.
There's a difference between cheering for your teammates, which is one of the core basic fundamentals of sports. And I want to touch on that real quick, is having certain goals or expectations on the field. Have a good attitude, play hard,
Mm-hmm.
do what you have to do to help your team win, and be a good teammate.
That's right.
And if you can do all those 4 things,
You go to bed at night.
you can go to bed at night.
Feel good about it.
That's it.
It's
I
not
mean-
always 4 for 4.
No,
You might be over, but you helped your team win that day.
which can go back into teaching the game of baseball, right?
The right way.
And it's a team sport. And what you see now is you see a lot of guys individualized, wanting to hit their home runs, wanting to
Walk-up songs, the handshakes, the stuff that they see on TV, the celebrations, the chains, the pro-looking uniforms, the $300 sunglasses, the Vipers that used to be at one point $75. Who knows how much they are now, right? They all look like pro players, all up there looking like a really well-paid athlete
Yeah.
that's accomplished. And the reality is they haven't been paid to do that. They're paying to do that. So that's why I keep saying, parents, families, young players, you are not at the elite level until somebody is paying you to play. You're paying for that. Just realize it. And what are you paying for? The big league dream?
I hope they're paying for development. At the end of the day, that's what travel ball should have the most impact on the players, is their development. You're paying because you don't want to be in the rec league because the rec league wasn't enough competition. It wasn't good enough.
They need a challenge.
So if you're going to make that upgrade to travel ball, make sure you're also upgrading that coach that's teaching your kids.
That's right. Mark
We want
Wards.
The Mark. Man, if you can
Mike
find yourself
Epstein's.
a Mark Ward, Mike,
Mike
Mike-
Epstein.
Mike Epstein?
Cesar Chavez of the world.
if you can find, Cesar Chavez, that's like a famous name.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
He's a pretty good coach.
Yeah. That's what we should be looking for when it comes to travel ball. It's not where's my kid gonna
It's the environment.
play shortstop.
That's right.
It's where's my kid going to develop, because that's what I'm paying for.
To make him a better person and a better player.
Okay, good segue here. You know this better than anybody that I know. What is the difference between a coach and a trainer?
Love it. It's, to me, to answer it the way you asked it, there's a difference between practice and getting your work in. Practice is when you show up, like in high school. First thing you do is you run over, see the dugout, and you see the practice plan. That's what we're first and thirds, relays, base running. That's what we're doing today, right? Everybody always looks for the first thing that they look for is BP.
Yep.
When we hitting,
Always last.
but practice is up on there, right? And so that's practice.
Yep.
That doesn't necessarily make you better.
Right.
You got to put your work in, right? So the difference between a coach and a trainer is the same thing. This bag right here is for training. I once heard Mike Tyson talk about how great Floyd Mayweather was. And they were like, well, why is he so great? And why might he be the greatest boxer of all time? Mike Tyson said, because he's always in the gym. He's training. And so training is not, now here's where training gets way off. I've seen guys go out and get a trainer, physical trainer, put on 20 pounds, blow out a knee. Come out looking all buff. I'm going to hit 40 homers, get hurt. Body can't handle the weight. I've also seen the weight room strength that does not apply to the baseball field. So training, and you got to make sure that the training that you get applies to the moves that you're doing on the field or in your sport.
So now we're talking specialized training.
You just, if I'm going to work on something, it's got to benefit me in live action, what I'm trying to do. A lot of people are paying for a lot of training that does not transfer or translate to their sport or their game.
Yeah.
Now, where does a coach come in on all this, right? I believe a coach exists for this. My job as a coach is to do this, to give you all the information you need to have success and then position you to have it. That's a coach's job. Coaches don't win games. They only lose them. Players win games.
Yeah.
No one shows up to watch a coach. Everybody shows up to watch a player play. Same thing with umpires. I've even seen the umpires on social media. Yeah. Ain't nobody steady. I apologize. We might have come out to see you. Ain't nobody show up to a game to watch the umpire.
Right.
Everybody wants to see the players play. It's like going to the zoo. You want to see the lion eat. You want to see the big gorilla. We want to see the players play.
Yeah.
So a coach's job is to position his players and the truth. Give them the information that's going to make them successful. And by the way, you have to speak to them different.
Yeah.
Because you're dealing with different personalities, different backgrounds, different everything, right? Give them the information they need to have success and then position them to have it. Sometimes that's a guy hitting third, he needs to be hitting fifth.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's a guy playing short, he needs to move over to third. Sometimes that's a pitcher who's pitching and catching, he needs to stop pitching for a while. Or he needs to pitch for a while and stop catching.
And it's
Save his
not
arm.
because they can't. It's because it's probably the right thing
For the kid
for the kid
and the longevity.
or the team
That's right.
or the situation.
Yep.
Okay.
You weren't even catching on your high school team.
Right.
And you got drafted as a catcher. And I said, was that the right move? And
I-
you said, I believe so.
Yeah, because I tricked them.
Well, you didn't talk about that.
No, so okay, on the coaching thing, right? Because again, this is a big part of the youth development. Where does mentoring a player come in when it comes to coaching? Is it the coach's job, or do you believe that a coach should only coach baseball, or should, as a coach, should we be also preparing or helping prepare this kid for real life?
So I did a study on this. I got a few answers. Is that a question for me?
That's a question for you.
So I did a study on this. When I was in the game, I was always looking for value. We're doing this because we're trying to give value away to people, right?
Yeah.
Which I'd actually like to see if anybody's got anything on here to answer a question if we have time. Value.
Is that Andy LaRoche?
Really, Roach?
Hey, Andy.
What's up,
We've
man?
had some fun times together.
Roach. Wow. Throwback right there. You took me
Throwback,
back.
yeah.
I'm trying to recircle right back around.
Sorry.
I remember Roach. And Roach had long hair and then he cut it.
Oh, Roche's wild.
Yeah. So sorry, you
Oh,
took me.
speaking of Roche,
Yeah.
by the way, I ran into Brad Penny. I don't know if you remember, but we went to Brad Penny's house. Oh gosh, I don't remember. I think Delwyn was
Telling
playing,
stories now.
and I ran into him at Universal Studios Hollywood. I reminded him of when we all went over to his house in Calabasas.
Sounds like a story. Calabasas.
Yeah.
Sounds like a story. To answer your question, dude, to give value, you have to earn the right. And so you don't just come in tinkering. First thing you do is you listen, you watch, you make yourself available, right? I think it was my third year. I'm a bullpen catcher. It was my third year where veterans started to come up to me and say, I heard about you. Uh-oh. What'd you hear? I don't, it was spring training. I remember feeling like, I don't like that. What'd you hear?
It's just,
No.
This is before 09.
It was good things. It was all good things. Oh, okay. I heard good things about you. Cool. Meaning like, we believe you're here for us. We believe you're here for the right things, doing it the right way. We've heard about you. We've heard you're a guy that we can talk to. Cool. I always kept my mouth shut. Sometimes when I saw something, I put it in my back pocket.
Yeah.
You got to wait for the player to ask, right? Wash taught me this. First of all, it can't be during the game. What does every player do during the game? What they trust, what they feel, what they see. Doesn't matter. You know, I had a high school coach. We got into it. College coach, actually. I was yelling at him. He was trying to get me to make an adjustment in the middle of my at bat. I came in, dude, and I told him, it's not effing working, dude. And we just had a blow up because I can't hit. I'm in the middle of an at bat. I can't have you in my ear, having thought process in my ear. I've got to go with what I got.
Yeah.
So you got, for any coaches out there, on game day, that's theirs. Practice and working out one-on-one, that's your time. Game day belongs to the player. Get out of the way. Now, here's what Ron Washington taught me. Case, I've got to teach in a way that when they get into the game, when I tell them, if you do this, the ball's going to pop up. And then the ball pops up on them because they gave a little bit and they didn't get out there in the range and they didn't stick it.
Yep.
Ball pops up. Player comes over to you and says, okay, I believe you now. What else you got? The game is what he said validates what he teaches them. And I have to do something to pique their interest. There's some coaches that have the right information, but they're not piquing the interest of the player. They're just going right at them like an argument. That ain't going to work. You've got to wash. That's it. Come on. That's it. Like the way he did the drills.
Oh,
you remember? See, you saw that look.
My legs remember.
You got to do something to pique that player's interest. And then you got to give them information that's truthful and valuable to them.
Okay. Now, is this pertaining to both? You're saying all this has to happen
levels.
prior to, so what I was trying to allude to was that as a coach, I feel like what's missing a lot is the being able to be personal with the kids, right? Where you're training.
This is where I'm going.
Okay. Go ahead.
I did a study. FCA put out a book called 3D Coaching.
FCA,
Fellowship of Christian Athletes,
okay.
Right? 3D is three-dimensional. What you're talking about is earning okay, so now you know, you've taught me how to feel the ground ball wash. What you got about life? How you doing today, man? You look tired. How's family? Oh, you alluded to this. Nobody knows what the players are going through last time we were on here. Then you get the ability to find out where they're at. I remember the day I looked at Cespedes in left field. And I'm like, he don't look right. I walked up to him. I said, how you doing? How's everything going? Oh, no good. And he told me he was when he was trying to get his family here from Cuba. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then they got marooned on that island.
Yeah.
And then they made him pay a lot more money before they actually brought him to Miami, then to get him to
The
Oakland.
Coyotes.
And he didn't look right. Remember that?
Mhm.
Where was his mind at? And then his mom shows up 3 days later. His whole family's here. And his mom was a Cuban Olympian, national softball player. And he used to chuck balls into the stands. He was in left field. He chucked a ball over the third base dugout. And his mom's over here barehanding it, snatching it out of the sky. He was a different dude.
Oh, yeah.
That's the second level.
Yeah.
The third level is what you were alluding to with your faith. What really matters in life. This is just a game. This is okay. Life. I like people that have played sports because it's a lot easier to speak to them about life.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
And so, but that's still just a game. And what's going on? Everybody's going through something. As a pastor, I could tell you right now, everybody feels some kind of way walking into a church on a Sunday. You've got to now try to be aware of how that is, respect it, honor it, and then earn the right by asking the right questions at the right time for them to share information with you, right? Some players don't want you to touch their life.
Yeah.
I'm just here to hit. Some players don't want to talk. They get a certain way locked in. You got to learn that. So there's the first dimension is give them value in the information that they come back. You're helping them. You're either helping them or you're not. Second one is then you get to talk to them about what's going on in their life. The third one is you get to talk to them about what matters most, and that's eternity. That's 3D coaching.
Mm.
And it all comes with validation. They'll come back and let you know whether or not they're going to listen to anything you have to say and want to work with you.
Wow. So finding a coach that has the qualities to be able to teach you what you need to do in baseball is one thing. But finding a coach that has the qualities to be able to also mentor a kid has to be hard to find.
Why are they doing it? I mean, I don't want to jump into coaching, but there's a number of the hardest time that I've ever had coaching players, which I've been doing now for 25 years at all levels, little league to big league, was at the high school level. And the biggest thing that I saw, angry, frustrated, schizophrenic, crying one day, I love you the next. I once showed up to a practice. I was in real estate, so I had the schedule. It's a high school field. Watered it, drug it, went and got gas for the 3-wheeler to drag it, had to air up the tires, got there super early, tried to get the field right, did all that, showed up early. I'm hitting fungos for 2 hours. Coach has got his head down, throwing BP. Because again, also, they're doing it all. They're
Right.
doing the schedule. They're doing the practice schedule. They have volunteer assistants. They don't have a budget. They don't get any help. They're throwing every round of BP, all these different things, right? They're coaching, they're teaching, they're trying to pay their bills, all the stuff it's year round for them, right? But then I asked a few of them, why are you doing it? Because on the field, you seem frustrated and angry at your players. And they would all tell me the same thing off the field. Oh, because I love them. It's for them. And I would always ask them, did they know that? Because I don't know that they know that. And if that's why you're doing it, you might want to change your approach. Throwing that good BP is great. They want to know that you give a damn about them. And so that's the harder part.
Right. All right.
What's going on in their life, though? You know what I'm saying?
Let's start wrapping this up. Solutions.
Okay, I like this.
What kind of solutions can we start to look for?
Can we do
What-
one more thing before we get to solutions?
Okay.
We skipped a whole group of people that we need to address. Parents. Parents at the games.
Well, I hope they've been listening this whole time. Oh, at the games. All right. Guilty. Parents, shut up if you're on the outside of the field. I'm talking to myself here. So what I'm doing to change that is I'm getting my butt on the field. Because I have a whole lot to say behind the fence when these guys are just volunteering because no other dads like myself would volunteer. Those parent or those coaches out there are also parents most of the time, or at least they should be. Um, they're trying to win. They're trying to herd 8-year-old cats, depending on how old your kids are. Mine are 8 and 7, so it's still like herding cats. Our goal as coaches shouldn't be to win the 8-year-old championship, right?
That rings $2, maybe.
Our goal as coaches with these young kids is to get them better and understanding and loving the game. So parents, you have to understand that the volunteer coaches might not have a pedigree in baseball. So cut them some slack. If you have something to say, get your butt out there and coach the teams. And then you can do what you want.
I'm actually going to post a video of a comedian talking to parents that says, I coach, I volunteer, I don't have a kid on the team. So if you're not coaching, shut up. I'm actually going to post this on this
I think
thing.
I saw that guy.
But I did cut out the bad words.
But yeah,
it's amazing.
no,
it's hilarious.
it's true.
It's very true.
It's 100% true. We want, as parents, we want our kids to be in the best position. We want the team to win every game. We want the coaches to make the right calls. We can all be an armchair quarterback because we've all done it. I'm guilty. I do it every Sunday during fantasy football. And
Armchair quarterback?
Armchair quarterback. Yeah. What do they call it? Monday morning quarterback? Whatever it is. We all want the same thing, except we have to understand there's levels to coaching. There's levels to playing. And as parents, we don't really care, honestly, what happens with all the other kids because we're looking at our kid the whole time. And we don't only want our kid to do well, but we're only there to see our kid play. Cut the coaches some slack. I'm talking to myself again, and enjoy it. This time will end at some point. Your kids will get older. It won't be about having fun and seeing a smile on your kid's face. It will be about competing. You'll get into travel ball hopefully at a later age.
Yeah.
And then it will be about winning.
Yep.
And then your kid may sit the bench.
Yep.
Because he or she may not be the best player. So cut the coaches in the youth league some slack and enjoy the time while they're still young because it will end.
I got some things for the parents too. I gave advice to that 12U team, and as their kids age, there's a time where you have to play for your dad. And then a lot of dads came to me and said, now I'm struggling because he doesn't want to hear anything that I have to say. My brother has this problem with his sons even right now. They don't want to hear anything he has to say. My advice for you, when a kid is raw and he's trying to do what he's doing after the game, especially if you ride home in the car together, act like you're on a pier.
Hi, Nance.
With some fishing line in, like a worm bottom fishing, and just talk to your kid and shut up and listen. Even if you can see the adjustments they need to make, leave it alone. You want that kid to talk to you and to open up and invite you in to the conversation. I've seen big leaguers time and time again. Their mom is calling them, making plate adjustments. Their brothers, their sisters are calling them, telling them to make plate adjustments. They're talking about them on MLB Network about the adjustments that they need to make. They're posting side-by-side videos of when they had a good year last year versus this year right here. Everybody's coaching them ill-advised, and they're trying to figure it out themselves. So just be fishing on a dock with some line in the water, shut up, and have them open up. That's my advice to you. Another thing is this. When I coached the Halos, I brought two things here. I won't read them in detail, but Mike Matheny, former Major League manager, former great Gold Glove catcher, St. Louis Cardinals, wrote a Matheny manifesto for when he started coaching his kids right around that 12, 13-year-old age.
I need a copy.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
You can have that one, right? Why I'm saying that is when I came to 12U travel coaching, I said, what is our goal? We had really big meetings. We slowed down. I said, fellas, what's the goal here? And they said, because I said, I'm not coming here to win a bunch of rings. I'm not coming here to feed these kids lies if they're not a shortstop at the high school level. They're not going to play short here. We need to develop them and put them on a track. And so we came up with this. They showed me this first, which I love. Shout out to the Chandler Halos. The Halo way.
Come in here.
Here's what the Halo way says. Players play, coaches coach or teach, parents enjoy the game. Please do not approach the dugout during games or shout at your kid during play. Please don't do that. We don't like you. No one wants to hear you. Just shut up. Save it for later, right? And don't be getting in fights, mom. Halos are for others. Be others oriented. Don't be selfish, and celebrate and have fun. And so I love the Halo way.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Here's the last thing I will say to you. And social media kind of ties into this, which is this. You remember those riots that broke out at Eastmark? Yeah, look at this right here. Yeah. What's up, man? You remember the riots that broke out here at Eastmark?
Yeah.
The football
Oh, I remember at Legacy.
Legacy.
The fights.
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
Okay,
Eastmark,
okay,
Legacy.
yeah, yeah.
You remember that? You heard about that, Carter?
Yeah.
Here in Arizona, we had a national flag football tournament where families flew from all over the country. 6 different law enforcement agencies had to answer the call to break up the scene, and they canceled the tournament.
Was that flag football or was that?
It was football.
Okay.
It was football.
Wow.
All that money, all that time,
Tournament done.
tournament done, 6 different agencies to break up all the fights. We got to do better.
Yeah.
We got to do better than that. I'm sick of that.
What I've learned from this guy specifically, because he takes it really hard after games, is I've learned to not bring up the game or how things went in the game right after the game. One of the things that I'm learning is and my mother-in-law brought it up. Is to encourage them. They need encouragement. They don't need us to tell them what they did wrong. They don't need us to tell them what we saw.
Pause. Players already know how much they suck. Tell them how they're going to get better.
Right. You go over here, bro. So what I would highly suggest or recommend, or at least try, is wait until the kids bring up the game.
That's right.
Like you were
They
just
invite you
saying.
in.
Wait until they invite you
That's right.
in. They're upset.
And that's for parents of big leaguers, man. Please.
Yeah. Hey, do you have any advice for me as a
As a dad,
dad who wants to coach you all the time?
what do you got, Brock?
you gotta
Come on
come
over
up to
here.
the camera first.
Come over here, Brock. Here, I'm going to give you this. What's your advice? Turn around. Tell him your advice to your dad. Look at your dad and then hold this. What's your advice to your dad?
What's your advice to dad as a coach, as a dad? You want me to shut up? Do you want me to encourage you? What do you guys like to hear as kids? This is Brock. He's 7. This is Carver. He's 8.
Hello. Almost 9. October 1st, I'm gonna be 9.
There you go. Look into this camera right here and tell them what you guys like to hear as kids, or what.
Like, are you talking about like a specific league, like
I'm talking
a
about.
division, like us young kids?
Yeah, you're a young baby.
Yeah, so
player.
as an 8-year-old, as a kid that plays baseball and tries really hard, and you guys do great, what does dad do that you think maybe I shouldn't do, or that you would like me not to do, or something you would like me to do? Like, we're trying to give advice to
So
other
like
parents.
with like us little kids, like we're still pretty young. You might want to have some like patience on the kids, because they're not like in like the major leagues or stuff, but just have some patience.
That's great.
Look at their mistakes, teach them carefully what their mistakes are.
I'm just telling.
So like, yeah,
Be patient.
Yeah.
I like that.
What about you?
the only thing about baseball is to have fun.
That's right.
fun.
Have fun and
Fun.
have a good
Attitude.
attitude.
right.
That's right.
That's right.
Oh yeah, be a good teammate too.
That's right. That's what we teach.
You heard it from your kid.
That's right. You heard it. Good job, boys. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thanks, bud. Who won the game?
Me.
Who won the game?
The show. MLB The
You
Show.
won?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was 4-7.
Wow. 4-7. What teams were you?
Yankees, Dodgers.
Wow. Shohei, Judge, fan favorites.
Judge did not.
Oh,
See you, boys. All these things can be what's wrong with youth sports today.
right.
Solutions. We've already given a few. The kids have given a few.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's taken a step back.
Yes.
Um,
Put everything in its proper place and proper perspective. If your kid's a high school player, let him be a high school player. Let him be a high school kid, not a professional player. If your kid's an 8-year-old kid, he's still got to learn to be a kid.
Yeah.
And not a performer year round.
Here's one thing I want to touch on, which again, I'm guilty of, and I'm learning as a parent, as someone who's trying to coach my kids. The kids want to play.
Mm-hmm.
When we're playing, we're not coaching. And I'm guilty of this because I'm always wanting to help them and correct them and put them in a good position. Kids will be burnt out if we continually, and I'm speaking about myself here, if I continually coach and tinker and try to help with mechanics and get them in the right spot. They don't care about that 90% of the time. They just want to play.
That's right.
They want to spend quality time with their parents. And again, I'm speaking about my kids that are 7 and 8.
That's right.
And so as younger kids, again, we only get so much time that they are asking mom and dad to play with them. So, if your guys' definition of play is to go sit at a baseball field all weekend and watch them play and not have any one-on-one time during that time, so be it. But I am trying to take my own advice here, and I'm trying not to coach them.
Some therapy right here.
Yeah.
Some therapy right here, folks.
But this is reality. This is, as somebody who's trying to bring awareness to all this stuff that happens, I'm in it. I'm going through it. I'm trying to get better, and I have to practice what I preach.
So this whole thing is called More Than the Game.
Yeah.
And I'm going to wrap this up with the More Than the Game moment based off of where this kind of went. Parents, I want you to think about something. I have 2 girls right now. They are not athletes. They're 14 and 13. But I've learned enough from people that have kids that are elderly. There's a statement that was said to me by an 80-year-old man. You're only as happy as your most miserable adult child. And he goes, I've now lived long enough to see that that's true. Parents of young athletes, parents, athletes, coaches, I want you to remember something like this. I'm parenting in a way that when my kids are out of the house and my girls are out of the house, they want to call home. They want to grab a cup of coffee. They want to go out to eat.
Yeah.
I constantly want to go to my parents' house all the time. I was just there helping them the other day with the garbage disposal. You want the relationship to be the thing that matters most, not the performance. And so for this being more than the game, here's what I would say. Don't sacrifice the relationship that you can have with the player, that you can have with your kid for the sake of performance or correction or trying to get better or driving them. And please make sure it comes with from a place that it's for them and you're not living vicariously based off something you either didn't do or wanted to do through them. That's not helping.
How about this? I want to challenge those parents that are already doing things in a way that we're talking about here, where you guys have an awesome family. What's the word I'm looking for? Dynamic, where things are great. I want to hear from those types of parents. Like there's so many people that can help us give more advice, right? And like, I want to talk to more parents. I want to talk to more kids that are in travel ball, coaches that are in travel ball, only because we only have so much knowledge, but it's collaborating with others to be able to help spread that information.
The conversation is the most important thing.
Yeah.
That's what you ask I asked my brother, I said, what do you miss the most? He said, the conversation. By the cage and the plane, travel days,
Playing cards.
during the game, playing cards.
Yeah.
This is a conversation. So, and that's what we're trying to do here is bring forth healthy conversations that will bring value and help somebody.
Yeah.
I'm Casey Chavez.
And I'm Derek Barton.
And this has been More Than a Game. Thank you for joining us, guys. Let's fix what's wrong with youth sports.
Cool.
Chasing it your whole life. From little leagues to big leagues, more than a game.